Ooh, what was that?
Hey, I'm Jordan with Force of Sound, and we're glad you're here with us today. In this episode, we were surprised by a slide cable failure on our RV home as we were setting up camp for the night between two longer drive days. When it happened, I wanted to lose my cool and anger, but the dad that I want to be wouldn't do that, so I took some breaths, said a prayer, and got to leading my family through the problem, not knowing how it would end. If you want to see how we got through this issue along with some original tunes, stick around. If you're struggling with a broken slide, you'll get faster info by reading the video description, where I'll give you the main pointers we learned in this experience right off the bat. We learned this is a somewhat common problem with RVs. Frayed cable ends are an early indicator of future failures, although I am still running one cable that is frayed on my rig. If your cable breaks, stop running the slides if possible. Collect your parts, take pictures, and get in touch with an RV tech or the nearest parts shop that you can. In our case, the nearest shop was about half an hour away. It was Saturday around 4 p.m. and all the travel techs in our area were busy, so I jumped in the truck and hoped they'd be able to help tell me what I needed to do so that I could actually get this done, since I've never done this before. This issue really wasn't that huge, but it sure felt significant at the moment. Since our home is our RV, it always feels like a more personal blow when something breaks on it. After a 4-hour drive, loud and screaming toddlers, and my poor wife looking to me for assurance, it would be easy to get frustrated, but that's not what the best dad would do. Our rig is a 2020 Montana High Country 334 VHS, and as you can see, it was the front bedroom slide top outer pulley cable that broke on us. We learned that if you have enough cable still coming through the RV wall, you can actually use that cable to help fish the new cable through the walls and pulley system. If there isn't enough coming through though, which ended up being the case for us, you can still accomplish this task. It's just a bit more tricky. Once you've got the cable through the wall, routing the new cable through the pulley system can be a little bit tricky. But I found that clearing the old rat's nest of blown up cables that snapped through the pulley system actually took a lot more time and was more difficult for me. Some proper tools would have made the job a lot easier for sure. It's definitely helpful to have two people for portions of this job, whether that's running the slide or trying to fish the cable through the hole in the RV wall.
Superhero. Hey, I like that. What if I don't solve the problem?
I think it's in these moments of pressure where we have the most opportunity for personal growth.
You got the slide in, you can go down the road.
That is true. We're getting there.
The best dad would smile, instill confidence in the crew that things were going to work out, and get to resolving the issue one way or another. And he'd put his personal emotions and feelings aside. That's what I tried to set my mind to doing, even though I had a lot of personal doubts about my abilities in the moment.
My toes are clear. And stop.
A key part of the work is properly tensioning the pulleys. They need to be tight enough but not too tight, as they are actively pulling, and they need to be good and slack when they are not pulling, but the opposite set is actively pulling. The tech I spoke with advised me to set the tension similar to the other cables on that same slide, and then to check some of the other slides on the rig as well. It ended up being where when the cable was pulling and it was taut, it had about a ½ inch to an inch worth of downward motion if I pushed with my finger with about like 2 to 3 pounds of force. I had a problem where I couldn't crimp the stopper they put in the repair kit. My first crimp attempt didn't hold, and I had to redo the tension setting and crimp, and that added an extra 30 minutes to the job. I ended up using a screw, pressing the point into the crimp multiple times with the large adjustable pliers. And we're fixed. One other thing that could likely have contributed to this issue was when I was setting up the truck, I was in a huge hurry. And the trailer was just a little bit more out of level than I wanted it to be. And just that little bit of downward pressure could have been enough to put the slide in a bind when I was putting it out. Could say we got lucky that everything worked out, but I'll say thanks to God and thanks to my dad for spending time teaching me things when I was little, which I know took longer than it would have if you had just done them. So thanks.